everyone. Today I want to talk about 3 different types of overeaters and what the solution is depending on what type of an overeater you are. And as you listen to these different types, don't be surprised if you're all 3, because I am definitely all 3. But it's possible you're just one. And if you're just one, you might have an easier time of learning to gain control over your overeating. So let's start with the first category. Okay, the first category is the careless eater. And this eater, she doesn't really think about her eating. She can, just grab someone without thinking about it. And this group is often really skinny when they're younger because they're not doing the other types of overeating, but they're careless. So one of the best ways to overcome this is just to be more conscious of what you eat. Now, this type of group can often lose weight by going on a diet because since they're just careless, they can make themselves follow the diet rules. My husband is an example of this type of an eater. He just went on Weight Watchers and lost, 20 pounds or so. And he actually went on it twice. The first time he gained the weight back. The second time he did not, because the second time he realized he had to keep eating carefully even after he went off the little food plan. So he made his own little food plan. So what this group needs is some sort of boundaries. It does not have to be a diet, of course. Like if you made the boundaries of 3 meals a day or intuitive eating, those are 2 different types of boundaries. They'll help you let go of careless eating. The second type of eater is a little bit harder to overcome. I call this group the love food eaters. So we either love the taste of food or we love that feeling of being full. And because of that, we eat too much. And the best way to overcome this is to change our beliefs. And the main belief that we need to get over is more is better. And that's one of those beliefs that a lot of cultures grab onto. So we say the bigger house you have, the better, the more clothes you have, the better, the more experiences you have, the better. And we say the more food we have, the better. So instead of having one brownie and concentrating on how incredible it is, or 10 French fries, we have 50 French fries or 3 brownies. And so it's really true if you think about it. It really is the truth that less is better. Less is better for taste and less is definitely better for consequences. But we somehow have to drill that truth into our mind. And we do that by renewing our minds. Every time we overeat, we write down what we're believing that drove us to it and write down the truth. And at some point, we'll start believing that. And I guess another thing is, one of the reasons we think more is better is because we totally ignore the consequences, okay? So like we don't do drugs because we know right in our mind what the consequences of that are. We don't shoplift because we know the consequences. We can picture them. It makes us not even want to shoplift. So it actually does help to think about the consequences of overeating. Maybe not overeating just in that one moment, but a lifestyle of overeating, if we keep those consequences in our mind, that is going to help. And I would also say that the intuitive eaters, they have some good tips for this. They talk about focusing on your food, like, sitting down at the table, really focusing on the quality and the taste of the food, not doing anything else while you eat. I know that would stop me. If I had to only eat my food, I would be so bored. There's no way I would eat too much. I would just eat a small amount. So there's little practical tips, and you can actually find those by looking at some of the intuitive eating things. They have some good tips for that. Okay, the third type of overeater is actually the hardest type to overcome, and that's emotional eaters. And if you're an emotional eater, no boundary system is going to help you with that. Because when we're emotional eaters, we eat when we're procrastinating, we eat when we're sad, when we're worried, when we're stressed out. So if all those emotions drive us to eat, no matter what our boundary system is, if we're intuitive eaters, 3 meals a day, if we're on a diet, we're going to break those boundaries whenever we're emotional. So the key to overcoming emotional eating is twofold. One is to learn how to let go of those negative emotions. And then second is to learn how to not choose to eat for the negative emotions. So the first one, I have my Bible study, Freedom from Emotional Eating, and each chapter talks about how to let go of a different negative emotion. And this is something you can also do just by renewing your mind. So you might make a renewing the mind project. Every time I worry about my kids, I'm going to renew our mind. And the surprising thing is, as you take off the lies that make you feel that emotion more intensely, put on the truth that sets you free, and also learn to hold what you really want in life lightly, those emotions become less intense. So maybe if you're an angry person at a level of a 10 on a scale 1 to 10, you go down to maybe a 2 or 3. And it's much more easy to get out of it. So in the beginning, you might have to spend an hour renewing your mind to let go of that anger. Later on, you can do it in a minute. So I have a lot of resources at my website for that, and also my book, Freedom from Emotional Eating. Okay, the second way to let go of emotional eating is to learn that, okay, we have those negative emotions. Let's say I'm, depressed, frustrated, whatever. I've got to learn to do something healthier other than go to food, okay? I don't want to change that to, I'll go to the internet instead, right? Because that's also not good. Or I'll go shopping. Try to, on a practical level, maybe do something that's not addictive to you. You could take a bath, or, there's all kinds of things you could think of to do to get yourself to unwind a little bit. But on a spiritual level, go to God for help. And not just go to God to plead to Him to make your life better, but go to God to see life from His perspective. Because when we see life from His perspective, it's so much better. When we feel like, we have to have all these things, be happy, well, we're not going to be happy a lot of times because we can't always get those things, right? Life isn't always perfect. So going to God to renew your mind rather than going to food to soothe that emotion, that's going to be helpful. And I actually have a new book coming out November 1st that will help with that. That's called Say Goodbye to Emotional Eating. But there's lots of free resources on my website, barbrawling.com. You can check out all those resources. I forgot to tell you, for the Careless Eater one, I have another YouTube video, and that is like how to use stickers in a chart. I'll put that one up right here. I hope that was helpful, and don't be worried if you're all 3 eaters. I was, and I learned how to gain victory with overeating, and you can too. It's just a step-by-step process. Go to God for help with it.